Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal. Legion Remix has been available for PTR testing for the last few weeks, with the event actually ending very soon for early testing. And it was probably the worst time for them to release it, as we got the patch 11.2 stuff and midnight announcements. So I found myself very much swamped with so much content and so many other videos to go over. But recently, finally, I was able to invest some actual decent time into Legion Remix to give it a try, collect some of the new rewards, and try out some of the newer systems arriving with this Remix update. Remix, while it doesn't have a release date for the time being, it will be releasing with the patch 11.2.5 whenever that's going to be happening. It's also going to be a great opportunity for you to speed catch up a bunch of new characters ahead of midnight. It's an opportunity for you to experience the Legion expansion as it was in its most authentic version, or as authentic as you can get outside of Legion Classic, if you're ever going to get that. It's an opportunity for you to have some power fantasy. You will be able to get your artifact weapon, progress it, customize it in a variety of new ways, as well as create a truly broken character while farming a ton of cosmetic rewards. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I want to go over exactly all of the different content and the rewards that you can expect for whenever this content officially goes live. As always, if you guys want to see more regular updates for either Legion Remix, Future War Within updates, or Midnight updates, be sure to follow the channel and subscribe. But otherwise, let's dive right in. Now, as for the actual content of Legion Remix, there's going to be a lot of it, though not all the content is going to come out immediately. They are doing phases for Legion Remix, similar to like the release of Classic and Anniversary Realms, how the content is phased. Some of the raids, some of the dungeons is locked behind like phases to simulate kind of like the patches for Legion Remix. It's not going to be a long wait for between phases either, but it is something that's like going to unlock gradually over time. But as for the content that you can experience off the bat is a leveling experience. And what they actually did for Legion Remix is they took the whole Eternus and the Infinite Dragonflight and actually added like a storyline that kind of hovers above that of the entirety of Legion's story. While you're leveling, and once you hit max level, you can also do dungeons and even level up raids. And that is the best part of Legion Remix, in my opinion, or at least Mop Remix in particular. The level up raids are amazing. I love level up raids. There's the idea of like, you hit certain level bracket, and I can just start doing raiding is amazing. I love them back in Mop because they were so effective for raw XP gains, amazing for alt leveling in the future because players were doing some cheesy stuff by not looting the bosses and then collecting all the XP buffs after running all the runs, after accumulating like a fairly sizable XP buff. So I'm assuming stuff like that is probably going to be made available as well once we figure out all of the best ways to really cheese out EXP gains. But doing raids while leveling, especially since in Legion or in Mop Remix, they were on a daily lockout, was so cool. I really like that part of the expansion, and I cannot wait for that to be part of that leveling journey of Legion Remix as well. Outside of this, you also get the artifact weapons, which do function differently, but the actual questline is secured in Legion Remix, as well as the order halls of each faction or each class, and it's really cool to go back to some of those. I do remember doing just about every single order hall back in Legion, but a lot of them, I mean, at this point, it's been quite a while, and my memory is just not nearly as fresh on many of them, so it's an opportunity for me to replay through some of the different storylines, but definitely worth replaying the Rogue one. Especially fun doing some of the different quests, like where you have to sneak around the guards and not get caught, and things like that, as the experiences for each class are unique in their own way. From the way you acquire your weapon to some of the different story beats that you'll experience specifically as that class, that really adds to that class fantasy that Legion had to write in the first place. Outside of this, you also got other open world content like Legion Assaults, Invasion Points once we get to Argus, World Quests, which are going to be everywhere, as well as Withered Training, a unique bit of content with the Nightborn faction. We also know the Mage Shower is making a return, though right now it is part of the different phase. It's not available immediately on PTR. We don't really know what the rewards for it are going to be. Good chance of Blizzard is hiding it behind that phase veil for us to find out later down the line. Hopefully it'll be something brand new at the very bare minimum. Companions are also technically part of Legion, as you can unlock them and you can collect a bunch of companions, and every single order hall has them, and some of them can be bodyguards that will then be a combat ally that could follow you and you either use abilities in combat or like be there as like a bodyguard and such. I don't know if they are coming back because mission tables are not making a return for Legion Remix. And the companions were tied to the mission tables because there was like a UI element in the mission table where you could slot them as a bodyguard and they would follow you in the open world, or you could slot them as a special ability that would randomly activate as you're fighting enemies in the open world, and they were fairly effective. But since they don't really do missions, the whole UI structure is not really functional. And it looks like because that's not functional, you can't really get the companions working either. So I don't really know if there will be like an opportunity for us to use them later down the line. We also get obelisks as you're questing out in the open world, especially when it comes to some of the more difficult content. Those will give you random power-ups, very similar to Diablo obelisks, but also an opportunity for you to fight challenging demons and collect additional rewards. Infinite Research is also a nice little bonus as you go back to the Infinite Bazaar once in a while. You'll be able to get bonus objectives while out in the open world, slaying demons or flying around collecting bronze orbs, or just going, picking plants and mining some ores, which you don't necessarily need a profession for. You could just interact with all of those things without necessarily having a profession, since you won't really be getting, any actual materials out of them. Instead, you'll be getting bronze as well as power-ups while out in the open world, which basically just gives you bonus ways for you to collect bronze as well as power-ups for your character. And of course, we also have the big one, the Heroic World tier, which makes the outer world significantly harder, more damage, enemies have more health bars, and they have affixes, sometimes just one, sometimes multiple. Sometimes you'll encounter an enemy that constantly summons demon forces, so you can go from fighting one enemy to like fighting 20 of them potentially if you're taking way too long killing one guy. And there'll be also a variety of different enemies. Some of those affixes can be shut down by CC, though temporarily, and it just basically adds a little bit of a nice spice up to the open world content. I think Heroic World tier technically is supposed to give you more EXP. As the rewards, I haven't really been able to experience too many additional rewards, but I think a lot of them are locked into max level content. Unfortunately for my Demon Hunter, while trying to spend as much time in Legion Remix, with 3 days left and one of the main storylines that is required for you to get a huge XP buff to level faster, it literally DCs me. PTR servers have really been ineffective and not really consistent either, not really great, but yeah, I haven't really been able to see additional rewards for Heroic World tier. But any XP bonuses that I gain, since enemies take longer to kill, it doesn't really feel like you're leveling faster or slower than normal leveling. It felt like if you just turn off World tier and just spam it through the quest, that's fairly efficient. Turn on Heroic World tier, felt like I was getting about the same amount of XP in the same time spent, so it didn't really feel like it made that big of a change, but I'm assuming it's going to make a huge impact for players at max level. As I've seen a lot of players apparently getting a lot of huge rewards and walking around with health bars of like 100 million just for doing some Heroic World tier content. As you do anything throughout Legion Remix, dungeons, open world stuff, fighting bosses, literally anything, even just leveling your character, you'll collect a bunch of currencies, one of the important ones being bronze, which they separated bronze this time into its own currency that's used for the traders within the Infinite Bazaar, and it's used to purchase cosmetics. No longer do you have to choose between spending bronze to power up your character or spending bronze to buy all the cool collectibles. That is now a separate currency to use to power up your character. So bronze, and you can collect as much of it as you want to. There is a cap technically of 500,000 right now in PTR, though at the moment you can transfer between the warband. So like if you reach a cap on one character, you can just like throw it to another character immediately. And then Infinite Power is another currency, with Infinite Power specifically being the main currency that you want to get, that you'll be able to reinvest back into your artifact weapon. This will give you a variety of things early on, just a couple of nodes of like agility increases, some stamina, speed rating for movement, a variety of little like bonuses that play around this Noswin's impatience, where the more you move out in the open world, the faster you move, and then you can upgrade the buff through a variety of ways. And then you can start investing into one of the main like trees that give you huge power-ups and power spikes. The further you invest into the tree, the more benefits you get, and then eventually you can just channel it as much as you want to into Limits Unbound, where you can keep collecting additional agility and stamina and all the other bonuses for your artifact weapon once you reach maximum level, as well as purchase all available traits. Now, the best part about Legion Remix will be the number of various cosmetic rewards that you'll be able to unlock. This was the best part about Mop Remix, as it allowed you to work your way towards certain rare drops within raids or dungeons, such as mounts or transmog pieces, and earn them by grinding content within Mop Remix and using the bronze to buy those items directly. So for some reason you've been running, I don't know, Emerald Nightmare and the first Satyr's Shoulders or a Scythe of the Maker potentially, whether heroic or mythic, still leads you to this day, you will be able to unlock these items with bronze, though certain items, certain unique items will require additional currency like Cosmic Sliver, which you will get from defeating Argus on either difficulty or possibly Horns of the First Satyr, which means defeating Xavius certain amount of times on Emerald Nightmare. Or if you're looking for the Taishalak weapon, also just defeating Agrimar and Taurus, any difficulty will eventually give you enough of the bonus currency in order to be able to directly purchase these items. So you could basically either try to RNG them while running all those old raids, or play Legion Remix, slay the bosses enough times until you get to unlock them and grind towards those specific rewards, which is really cool. Outside of the specific deterministic rewards though, there's also going to be other rewards that you can get from achievements for completing entire zones of an expansion, finishing up entire storylines, and doing so many different things, and the rewards are all looking really good. Some of the more unique rewards you'll be able to obtain will be things like Ajara inspired dress, for instance, which looks gorgeous, Manoroth's shield, Fel-infused weapons like Varian sword, for example, but also other Fel-infused versions of different weapons from the expansion as well. Outside of that though, you can also collect some pinnacle armor sets, which are obtained by doing certain unique objectives while within Legion Remix, and these are going to be like pinnacle content, like really completionist things for you tackling like endgame activities and more difficult content. In particular, one of the first ones that you'll be able to obtain pretty early on is the ensemble of the Sargerai commander, the Fel-scorned Regalia, which looks amazing. The community has been really wild about this set in particular, and I think this may be actually one of the best sets, if not literally the best set the Blizzard has ever created in World of Warcraft ever. It looks amazing. The cloak and how it has flames rolling off of it looks so good. It has this whole Legion vibes about it and everything. And this you'll be able to get from the achievement code to Fel and back. A lot of the good rewards will be like behind achievements, so you can just work on those specifically as you play through Legion Remix. With the Fel and back achievement, you just gotta complete the entire Legion Remix campaign. So if you complete the entire campaign, which is like an overarching campaign over Legion, you can get the set. But also you can get variations of the set for other activities as well. But those are just some of the rewards that you can unlock through deterministic rewards or doing challenging content. And then you have a variety of different vendors that have plenty of items for you to purchase with bronze, from the Windrunner Quiver, which is basically the artifact weapon, quivers that you could purchase separately as a hunter. Previously, normally, you would have to have like the artifact weapon equipped in order to have the quiver, but now if you just want to have a quiver for all of your hunters, you can. There's also the arsenal of the Arms of the Fel Forge that you can unlock as well. A bunch of like variations and recolors of dungeon gear that you can also obtain. Kvaldia gear as well. There's the Demon Hunter pieces here with the ensemble of the Silver Slayers Scar Guards that is going to be available for all leather classes, not just Demon Hunters, which looks amazing. And it looks like even this proper Demon Hunter set will be available for all leather wearers as well. And then they also get some unique stuff for Lightforged Draenei specifically. Lightforged Draenei was one of the allied races added for this expansion, so if you play a Lightforged Draenei, you'll be able to get some Lightforged Draenei only versions of their heritage sets, like this bronze orangish kind of look to it. You got the red variation of the Lightforged set as well as the void version as well. So if you're a Lightforged that plays a Shadow Priest or something, this could potentially be the outfit for you. Nightborn enjoyers also can enjoy a Nightborn proper attire. Only Nightborn players, unfortunately, will be able to use the set, however. It is going to be race restricted, but Nightborn finally getting some of the NPC attire that many players have dreamed of being able to wear at some point in the future. We also get unique items such as Mantle of the Nightwell, which are Elisand's shoulders that anyone could use. This isn't going to be Nightborn specific, but definitely one of the cool unique items that has been added to the vendors, as well as a variety of different unique Legion-inspired weapons. You have huge demonic maces with a couple of different recolors, a huge bone-calling scythe also with a few recolors, Moarg horn mace with a couple of recolors, as well as the arsenal of gems of the Lightforged Draenei variety. The Transmog vendor also have world apparel, so you'll be able to get some of the like Legion pre-patch armor sets. These are the items that you could get during the pre-patch event, and they'll be coming back on the vendor. Then you also have a bunch of world gear that you can obtain while questing, and if you just want to complete your entire ensemble, you'll be able to fairly easily with just a click of a button, as long as you have the bronze for any of these pieces. We also got a variety of mounts, very similar to Mop Remix. We're gonna have some unique mounts that have never been released before, or like variations of those mounts that never been obtainable. But there are also some actually unique mounts that we've never had in the past either, as well as raid mounts, dungeon mounts, open world mounts, rare mounts that you'll be able to purchase directly with bronze from the mount vendor as well. You also have new unique class cosmetics here as well, with the Grandmaster Jackus is wearing one of the Sargerai commander pieces, and he sells the Order Hall mount. It's like a questline mount that you can unlock, but he has like a fell version for every single class. You have the Warrior, the Paladin, the Death Knight, which I'm pretty sure Death Knights already have like a green variation, but not quite as fell green, the Hunter, the Rogue, and you got just about every single class out here as well. The Druid one in particular is actually a flight form. It's not a mount that you can ride. It is a flight form that Druids will be able to use. It's also a flight form that gives them flying, but also allows them to have a passenger flying on their back as well. So for any Druid enjoyers, that's going to be a huge one to pick up as well. You got the Mage mount as well as the Warlock mount, which again, they already have like a green variation of this one, but they gave like an extra green version as well on the vendor. If you're a big fan of toys, like if you're trying to get every single collectible, pets, toys, all these other little knickknacks, they also have a specific vendor that gives you a variety of different unique items. So like if you haven't picked up your golden Hearthstone card, for example, that's going to be an opportunity for it. Seer's extra cloak that turns you into a warden toy, that's also really cool. And some of those, however, will be locked behind the phasing that will happen within Legion Remix. With the vendors, as we're wrapping up, we got also a few more. Dungeon Apparel vendor, which gives you all the different recolors and variations of the dungeon sets that you'll be able to collect. Then we also have the Raid Finder, Normal, Heroic, and Mythic Apparel, which will have basically the armor sets for all the other raids. Again, it's all going to be phased, so at the very beginning you're just seeing like the Nighthold sets that you can obtain. But later down the line, you can also see some of the other sets that you'll be able to obtain as the phases go on. The Shaman set from Tomb of Sargeras. Later down the line, we have like the Antorus gear as well, Shaman gear from Antorus, Hunter gear, all of those. And those will just be obtainable just for purchasing them with 30,000 bronze. And 30,000 bronze doesn't really take that long to collect. It does get a lot easier to collect the bronze you're going to need for all these items as you get to max level. There's also a unique vendor that they've recently changed the tag for. This vendor right here, Domelius. Previously, this was titled as a housing vendor that would have housing decorations, but every time you talk to him, he would have nothing to give you whatsoever. He says, "I'm late, sorry we're late, I'm afraid I'm not open yet, I'm so terribly sorry, perhaps I should get a clock." And I'm assuming that eventually they'll enable him as a housing vendor whenever housing becomes available in the patch 11.2.7. So that is something for you to look forward to, and probably should start stocking up as much bronze as you can once Legion Remix is released in order to buy whatever housing decorations this vendor is going to have. But with that being said, that's going to be for now all of the content and rewards coming out for Legion Remix. As always, I do want to thank all of you guys so much for watching this video and hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did enjoy this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a like. So it would very much appreciate it. Also helps more videos reach a wider audience through the algorithm, whatever. As always though, definitely be sure to join our Discord community, link to that in the description of every single video if you just want to keep up with any new updates regarding like patch 11.2.5, 11.2.7, Legion Remix things, midnight updates. It looks like it was good. We're going to be getting a lot of content for WoW in particular over these next few months. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in our next one.